Hi everyone. I recently had a conversation with my manager about something that completely changed how I approach decisions. BOT or back of the envelope or back of the napkin calculations. And I want to share this important wisdom with you in my 50th YouTube video. You know those moments when you need to make a big call but you are drowning in data. Or worse, you have almost no data, or when you need to justify the impact of your work without actual data. That's where both back of the envelope calculations become your superpower. It's about getting to a good enough answer fast so you can move forward with confidence. And here's the kicker: BOT isn't just for finance gurus or seasoned CEOs. Whether you are an interviewee justifying the impact of your work, a beginner navigating your first big task, or an executive making strategic calls, BOT applies. From optimizing technical implementations, streamlining HR recruitment processes, to even predicting outcomes in complex chemical experiments, this method is universally applicable. It's about cutting through the noise and focusing on what truly matters. In my 50th YouTube video, I dive deep into how you can apply both calculations in any industry at any level to make smarter, faster decisions. I break down real world examples and show you exactly how to get started. Don't miss out on unlocking this essential skill. Let's transform your decision making process and make every decision count. So, what exactly is a BOT? It's structured guessing, not fake precision. We are not trying to get a perfect number here. This is a fast way to see if an idea is probably worth it before you invest a ton of time. It's about transparent assumptions you can actually talk about with others. We are aiming for a range: low, likely, high, instead of one magic number. This isn't a complex spreadsheet where you have to defend like it's the absolute truth. It's a conversation starter, not the final answer. Next, we will look at how to build a story around your estimates. Now that we know what a BOT is, let's talk about how to tell a story with your numbers using the impact chain. This helps you connect what you do to why it actually matters. You start with the baseline, what's happening right now. Then you think about the change. What will be different if you do this thing? After that, consider the effect. What happens next because of that change? Finally, you get to the outcome. Why does all of this matter? For example, if you spend 5 hours on a task, an AI tool could save you 4 hours, meaning you finish your project 2 days earlier. This chain helps everyone follow your logic. But how do you even get those numbers? Let's look at your toolkit. Okay, so you want to make an estimate, but where do you even start? Your estimation toolkit gives you two main ways to get to an answer. First, there's the top-down slice. You start with the big picture, like all the students on campus, and then take a reasonable slice. For instance, if 10% of 1,000 students use your tool, that's 100 people you are helping. Second, you can use the bottom-up build. Here, you start with one small unit, like how long one task takes, and then scale it up. If one task takes 30 minutes and you do it 20 times a month, that's 10 hours saved. A pro tip is try both methods. If your answers are close, you are probably in the right ballpark. Let's bring this to life with a real world example: SQL automation. The problem is clear. Waiting for data answers can really slow down projects and waste a lot of time. The change here is using an AI agent to draft SQL queries instantly, cutting down manual work by 80%. The impact is huge. Think of it this way. Freeing up one person's week is like adding an extra lane to a busy highway. The result? Faster decisions, fewer mistakes, and way less frustration for everyone involved. This shows how a board can make a big difference. Next, we will look at a step-by-step process for doing this yourself. So how do you actually do this board thing? It's not just some random guess. There's a simple, repeatable process. This workflow helps you get to that good enough answer without getting stuck. First, you got to nail down what decision you are even trying to make. Then describe your current situation, your baseline, in one clear sentence. After that, pick your estimation style, top down or bottom up. You can even use both to double check yourself. Next, choose just a few key numbers that really matter, maybe 3 to 5. Don't go crazy with a ton of data. Then give it a range. What's the low, likely, and high impact? And finally, find that flip point. This is the one thing that would make you change your mind. It's super important for building trust, which we'll talk about next. That idea of a flip point is huge for building trust. Nobody expects you to be a mind reader or have a crystal ball. So don't pretend you do. Use round numbers when you are just making an educated guess. Show people a range, like it could save us between 5 and 15 hours. This is way more believable than saying it will save exactly 10.3 hours. And that decision flip is key. It's like saying, hey, if this project takes more than 20 hours to build, then it's not worth our time. Being honest about what you don't know actually makes people trust your judgment more. It shows you have thought about the risks. This transparency is what makes your board powerful. Let's dive into a technical example, API optimization. We are talking about making things faster for a million users. The core idea here is that if your API takes 500 milliseconds to respond, that's a noticeable delay for users. By implementing Redis caching for the most frequent requests, we can drastically cut down that response time. This isn't just about speed, it's about a better user experience and less strain on your servers. We see a 72% reduction in average latency, which is a huge win. This example shows how a board can quickly highlight the value of a technical improvement. Moving from technical improvements, let's look at how board applies to HR and recruitment. Here, we are focused on speeding up the time it takes to hire someone. Our baseline is 45 days to hire, and each hire costs 15 hours of interviewer time. That's a lot of valuable time. By using an automated screening tool, we can filter candidates earlier in the process. This means we save 7 hours per hire, which really adds up. Hiring just 10 engineers saves 70 hours of senior engineering time, almost 2 full work weeks. This shows how board can quantify the impact of process changes in human resources. Finally, let's explore a chemical experiment example, yield optimization. Our starting point is a 65% yield at room temperature. We want to see the impact of a simple change, increasing the temperature to 40 degrees Celsius. The Arrhenius equation tells us that reaction rates often double for every 10 degrees Celsius increase. So by raising the temperature by 15 degrees, we can expect a significant boost in our yield. This means less waste and more product, which is a big deal in chemistry. This example demonstrates how board can quickly estimate the benefits of a scientific adjustment. If you are a software developer or architect, there is a chart that I want you to keep at your arm's length, which will be really useful for your board estimates. This is called availability, downtime, uptime, nines table, and it shows based on how many nines of availability you expect out of your system, how much downtime is allowed per week, per month, and per year. So how do we put all this together and start using it? Here's the big takeaway. BOT is all about speed. You are not trying to build a perfect model. You are just trying to get a quick, good enough answer to make a decision. Focus on the why behind your numbers. The story you tell about the impact is way more important than getting every decimal point right. Remember, it's better to be roughly right than precisely wrong. Using ranges and flip points help you be honest and build trust. So here's your challenge. Go draft your first board today on some recent work you did, such as improving user experience by reducing the number of clicks required to generate a report, or a macro you wrote to automate some manual work. You can do it in under 30 minutes. Seriously try it. It's a superpower for making smart decisions fast. If you like this content, please like, comment, share and subscribe for similar content in the future. See you in another video. Until then, elevate.